All right, let's get into this one because it is wild. Imagine someone offered you a shot at becoming a millionaire for doing, well, pretty much nothing. This is exactly what YouTuber Mr. Beast did. He set up one of the most intense psychological experiments I've ever seen disguised as a game show, a crazy, high-stakes survival challenge in total isolation.
And the prize money? It was just staggering. For this one contestant, a guy named Josh, the deal was $10,000 in cash. Every single day.
The main rule seemed almost too simple, Just live in this custom-built, fully stocked luxury room, totally sealed off from the outside world. If he could hang in there for 100 days, he'd walk out with a cool $1 million.
And on day one, you can't blame him. He's surrounded by a hot tub, a pool table, even a private chef. So, of course, his confidence was through the roof. He thought, this is a piece of cake. Oh man, he had absolutely no idea what he was in for.
Because, of course, it wasn't going to be that easy. This is Mr. Beast we're talking about. He had a massive detail up his sleeve that was about to flip this whole challenge from a luxury vacation into a total strategic nightmare.
So, after the first 24 hours, right as Josh is probably getting comfortable thinking he's got this in the bag, the entire game changed. Yep, there was a catch, and believe me, it was a big one.
And there it is. That's the twist. Every time Josh took his 10 grand, he had to let Mr. Beast's team take one item out of the room. This one rule changed everything. Suddenly, that room wasn't a safe haven anymore. It was basically a ticking clock, with all of his comforts slowly but surely disappearing.
This just plunged Josh into a daily psychological war with himself. There's this powerful thing in psychology called loss aversion. Basically, the pain of losing something feels twice as bad as the pleasure of gaining something. So what do? What do you sacrifice? The fun stuff, like the VR headset, the comfort items, like your actual bed, or the things that keep you sane, the sentimental stuff, like pictures of your family? So with that one new rule, this challenge went from a simple test of patience to a full-on psychological gauntlet. It was basically designed to push Josh to his absolute, and I mean absolute, limits.
And what's so fascinating is just watching his world get smaller and smaller. Day 2, he gives up the ice cream machine. Easy choice, right? But then look, by day 7, he's giving up a family photo. On day 12, he pays $5 grand, half his money for the day, just to see his girlfriend for 10 minutes. Then the big stuff started going, the hot tub, the pool table, leaving him with almost nothing to do.
And you'd think losing all his stuff would be bad enough. Nope. To make things even crazier, the crew didn't just sit back and watch. They were constantly jumping in, actively working to just shatter his isolation and test his sanity. And the stuff they did was just mayhem. They really understood that random, unpredictable stress is way worse than stress you can prepare for. They sent his friend in to stay for 24 hours, completely ruining his solitude. They brought in a giant cake and started a food fight. They literally drove a forklift into the room to rip out the hot tub, destroying the walls and floor. At one point, they even left him stuck on top of the pool table all night. Every single act was just designed to keep him completely off balance.
Wow, and this just shows you the toll it took. The room started out as this luxury suite, right? By day 30, it looked like a war zone, a totally wrecked space with forklift tracks on the floor, busted walls, and just a single mattress left. So, with all this mounting pressure, the isolation, the destruction, the daily gut-wrenching decisions, it was only a matter of time before Josh reached his breaking point. Think about it. No windows, no natural light. His internal clock was completely messed up, blurring the lines between day and night. This is actually a super common side effect of long-term isolation, and you can see it started to really warp his sense of reality. You can hear it in his own words, just how lost he was becoming. And on top of the mental strain, the physical toll started to kick in. He started feeling physically sick. For us humans, our physical health is so tied to our mental state that recycled air, no sunlight, it wasn't just making him feel ill, it was making the psychological misery of the whole thing so much worse. After weeks of all this building up, you'd think it would be something big that finally broke him. But no. It was this tiny, little thing. His guitar, maybe the one thing he had left to keep himself together. A string snapped, and that was it. That was the last straw. In this moment of just pure bottled-up frustration, he just loses it and smashes the guitar to pieces. But, and this is a twist worthy of this whole insane experiment, smashing his last prized possession led to a discovery he never, ever could have expected. Tucked away, inside that broken guitar, was a check for $100,000. It was a secret bonus, kind of like a reward for holding on for so long, hidden in the one thing he'd managed to protect.
So finding that check, combined with spending over a month totally alone, it gave Josh this moment of real, profound clarity. He knew exactly what he needed to do next.
On day 34, that was it. He was done. Even though he could have stayed and earned more money, he knew his time in that room was over. He'd had enough.
He walked away with a grand total of $340,000. I mean, that's a truly life-changing amount of money. But man, he earned it through an unbelievable amount of hardship. And what was the very first thing he did with that new perspective? As soon as they brought his girlfriend into that wrecked room, surrounded by all the chaos, he used some of his winnings to buy her a ring. That isolation didn't just make him want to leave, it made him realize who he couldn't live without. The experience stripped away everything else and left him with only what truly mattered. And he proposed right there on the spot, turning a symbol of his struggle into the beginning of a whole new life.
And just like that, he walked out of that broken room, left all that chaos behind him, and stepped right into a new chapter, surrounded by the very people he now knew he couldn't be without.
It's just such an incredible story, and it really makes you think, doesn't it? After seeing everything he went through, it all comes down to that question on the screen. What's actually worth more? The money you could possibly earn, or the life that you're missing out on while you're earning it?